beginning, there was no beginning as we usually imagine it. No sky, no ground, no distance between things. There was no before or after, only a quiet, immeasurable potential. And then, gently, though, it would one day shape everything. A moment of expansion began. Not an explosion in space, but an expansion of space itself. A silent blooming. This is what we now call the Big Bang. There was no sound, because there was no air to carry it. Only energy, spreading outward, stretching the fabric of existence. Time itself began here, flowing forward like a calm, invisible river. Space unfolded in every direction, carrying within it the seeds of everything that would ever be. In those earliest moments, the universe was warm, far warmer than anything we can truly imagine, but it was also simple. There were no stars, no planets, no galaxies. Only tiny particles drifting in a glowing haze, moving softly as the universe expanded and cooled. As time passed, though time then moved in ways that feel unfamiliar, the first building blocks of matter began to form. Protons and neutrons came together, gently combining into the simplest elements, hydrogen and helium. These would become the quiet foundation of everything to come. For a long while, the universe was dark. There was light, yes, but it was scattered, diffused, unable to travel freely. Space was like a mist, filled with particles that kept light from moving far. But as the universe continued its slow expansion, it cooled further. The mist thinned. And one day, if day is even the right word, light began to move freely. This ancient light still exists. It has been traveling ever since, stretching and softening as the universe grows. It is a gentle echo of that early time, still whispering across the cosmos. Then came a long, quiet era. Vast clouds of hydrogen and helium drifted through space. There were no stars yet, only immense, invisible structures forming under the pull of gravity. Gravity is patient. It does not rush. It does not demand attention. It simply gathers, gently drawing matter together over immense stretches of time. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, these clouds began to collapse inward. Regions grew denser. The pull became stronger, stronger, and then, in the heart of one such cloud, something new emerged. A star. The first stars ignited softly in the darkness, like distant candles being lit one by one. They were enormous and bright, far larger than most stars we see today. Inside them, something remarkable began to happen. Hydrogen atoms fused together under immense pressure, becoming helium, releasing energy in the process. Light was born in a new way. These stars shone across the darkness, bringing structure and warmth to the universe. They lived their lives slowly, though by cosmic standards, some lived only briefly. And when they reached their ends, they did not simply fade away. They transformed. In their final moments, many of these early stars released their material back into space, enriching the cosmos with new elements, carbon, oxygen, iron. The ingredients of future worlds, future oceans, and even future life were gently scattered across the universe. From these remnants, new stars began to form. And not just stars, but galaxies. Galaxies are like vast islands in the cosmic ocean. Billions, sometimes trillions, of stars bound together by gravity, moving in slow, graceful patterns. Some are spiral-shaped, their arms curving gently outward like quiet whirlpools. Others are elliptical, smooth and round, like glowing clouds suspended in darkness. Between them lies an immense emptiness. Not empty in the absolute sense, but vast beyond ordinary comprehension. The distances between galaxies are so great that light itself takes millions or even billions of years to travel from one to another. It is a silence so deep that it feels almost like stillness itself. Within galaxies, stars continue to form and fade. Around many of these stars, planets gather. Small grains of dust collide and stick together, forming larger bodies over time. Some become rocky worlds, others gas giants. Some drift quietly in stable orbits, while others wander through space. On one such planet, small, blue, and orbiting an ordinary star, something unique began to unfold. But that is a different story, one that belongs to oceans, forests, and living things. Tonight, we remain with the stars. As galaxies evolve, they sometimes drift toward one another. Their immense structures begin a slow dance, taking hundreds of millions of years. They do not collide in the way solid objects do. Instead, they pass through each other, their stars rarely touching, their shapes stretching and reshaping under gravity's gentle influence. Over time, the universe continues to expand. Galaxies move farther apart. The light traveling between them stretches, becoming softer, redder, more distant. The night sky, if seen from a far future, would appear quieter, emptier. And yet, even in this vastness, there are places where gravity gathers matter so tightly that something extraordinary forms. Black holes. They are not holes in the way we imagine openings in the ground. They are regions where gravity becomes so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape once it passes a certain boundary. But they are not violent in their nature. From a distance, a black hole is quiet. It does not pull things in like a whirlpool unless something comes very close. It simply exists, curving space around it, shaping the paths of nearby stars and light. At the center of most galaxies, there is a supermassive black hole. These are immense, containing millions or billions of times the mass of a star like our Sun. They sit quietly at the heart of galaxies, influencing their structure in subtle ways. Around them, stars orbit in slow, graceful paths, like leaves drifting in a still pond. If you were to approach a black hole, slowly, gently, you would not notice anything unusual at first. Space would feel normal. The stars would shine as they always do. But as you drew closer, the light behind you would begin to bend, curving around the black hole. Time itself would change. From your perspective, everything would feel normal. But to a distant observer, your movement would seem to slow. Your light would stretch, fading gradually. It is a quiet, mysterious boundary where our understanding of space and time becomes softer, less certain. No one truly knows what lies beyond that boundary. And perhaps that is part of the beauty. The universe is not a place that reveals everything at once. It holds its secrets gently, inviting curiosity without urgency. Beyond black holes, beyond galaxies, there is still more. The deep ocean of space stretches endlessly, filled with faint light and quiet motion. There are regions where galaxies cluster together, connected by vast filaments of matter. Between these filaments lie enormous voids, regions so empty that they feel almost like pauses in the cosmic story. If you could drift there, you would see very little. Just darkness and the faint glow of distant galaxies, like tiny lanterns far across an endless sea. And yet, even in that emptiness, the universe continues its slow unfolding. Time moves forward. Space expands. Stars are born, live their lives, and gently fade. The elements they create drift onward, becoming part of new stars, new planets, new possibilities. Nothing is truly lost. Everything changes, softly. Now, imagine yourself drifting through this vastness. There is no need to hurry. No destination to reach. Only the quiet presence of space, the distant glow of stars, and the gentle awareness that you are part of this same universe. The atoms in your body were once inside stars. They traveled across time and space, becoming part of something that can now think, feel, and rest. As the story of the universe continues, it does so in silence, not empty silence, but a calm, steady stillness. A presence that does not demand attention, but is always there. And as you rest, the universe continues its quiet expansion, its slow, patient unfolding. Stars shine. Galaxies drift. Black holes remain, holding their quiet mysteries. And beyond it all, the deep ocean of space stretches on, calm and endless, like a lullaby without words. There is no boundary marking where one place ends and another begins. Only a gradual softening, a widening of distance, a quiet release from what once felt familiar. Behind you, a small star glows, steady, warm, patient. Around it, faint traces of planets move in silent orbits. This is the edge of a system once full of motion and detail. But now, as you move farther away, it becomes only a point of light, slowly dissolving into the wider field of stars. You are leaving the solar neighborhood. There is no sensation of departure. No wind, no sound, no shift in pressure. Only the awareness that space is opening, expanding into something more vast, more quiet, more deeply still. This is the interstellar medium. It is not truly empty. It only feels that way. Between the stars, there exists a thin presence, atoms drifting alone or in small gatherings, traces of hydrogen, faint dust grains moving without urgency. The distances between them are immense. If you could hold one in your hand, which you cannot, it would feel like holding almost nothing at all. And yet, over great stretches of time, even this near-nothingness becomes something. Clouds form here, though they are unlike clouds of Earth. They are so vast that light takes years to cross them. So gentle that their motion cannot be seen, only understood through patience. You drift through this quiet medium, carried by nothing, guided by nothing, simply present. The stars are farther apart now. Each one stands alone, separated by distances so large they begin to feel abstract. Their light reaches you after long journeys, softened by time, stretched into deeper hues. Some shine with a pale blue glow, others with a warmer gold, others still with a dim, reddish whisper. There is no sound among them. Only infinite silence. And within that silence, there is a kind of rhythm, not heard, but sensed. The slow pulsing of existence. The steady unfolding of time. Ahead, something begins to gather. At first, it is only a subtle shift in the darkness. A faint density. A region where the blackness seems slightly less complete. As you drift closer, the change becomes clearer. A nebula. It does not appear all at once. It reveals itself gradually, like a memory returning in soft layers. Wisps of gas stretch across space, illuminated by distant stars. Colors emerge slowly, muted reds, soft blues, gentle purples, never bright, never harsh, only a quiet glow suspended in the dark. This is a stellar nursery. Within these clouds, new stars are forming, though the process is so slow that it feels timeless. Gravity moves gently here, drawing particles together over millions of years. Regions grow denser, warmer, until one day, far in the future from this moment, a new star will begin to shine. You drift deeper into the nebula. The light changes. It becomes softer, filtered through layers of gas and dust. Shadows form, not sharp, but gradual, like the dimming of twilight. Structures begin to take shape, vast and intricate. Before you, rising like ancient monuments, are towering columns of gas and dust. They stretch across light years, shaped by the quiet influence of nearby stars. Their forms are delicate yet immense, sculpted by radiation and time. They do not move in any way you can perceive. They simply exist, suspended in a state that feels both still and alive. This is a place often called the Pillars of Creation. But here, there are no names, only presence. Each pillar holds within it regions of greater density, small pockets where matter gathers more closely. Inside these pockets, hidden from view, stars are slowly forming. Their light has not yet reached outward. They remain wrapped in their cocoon of dust, waiting. You pass between these structures, drifting. There is no sense of scale that fully applies. Something so large should feel overwhelming, but it does not. Instead, it feels calming. The vastness removes urgency. It invites stillness. Light filters through the gaps between the pillars, casting a gentle glow across the surrounding space. It is not bright enough to illuminate sharply, only enough to suggest form and depth. Everything feels suspended, timeless. As you continue, the nebula begins to thin. The dense regions fade back into the wider interstellar medium. The glow softens, dissolving into the background of distant starlight. And once again, there is openness. A wide, quiet expanse. But not entirely empty. Ahead, 2 points of light move in relation to one another. At first, their motion is subtle, almost imperceptible. But as you drift closer, their relationship becomes clearer. A binary star system. 2 stars, bound together by gravity, moving in a slow, eternal dance. They do not circle in perfect stillness. They move around a shared center, each influencing the other. Their motion is smooth, continuous, like a breath that never ends. One star shines slightly brighter, its glow steady and calm. The other is smaller, softer, yet equally present. Together, they create a pattern, light shifting gently as they orbit, their positions changing over time. If you were to watch long enough, far longer than any human lifetime, you would see their full cycle. But even in this brief moment, their connection is clear. They are not separate. They are a system. Their light overlaps, mingling in the space between them. Shadows do not form in the usual way. Instead, there is a blending, a soft interaction of brightness and dimness, creating a quiet complexity. You drift closer still. There is no danger here, only motion. Their gravity is strong, but at this distance, it is simply part of the environment. It shapes space gently, guiding nearby particles into curved paths. Around them, faint remnants of gas and dust form a thin disk, slowly rotating. Perhaps planets will form here one day. Or perhaps they already have, small and distant, moving in intricate orbits shaped by the presence of 2 suns instead of one. The idea of a sky with 2 stars feels distant, almost like a dream within a dream. You remain for a while, observing. There is something deeply calming about their motion. The predictability. The balance. The way each responds to the other without resistance. A quiet partnership, sustained across time. Eventually, you drift onward. There is no need to stay, and no need to leave. Movement simply continues. The binary stars grow smaller behind you, their combined glow becoming a single point once more. The nebula fades entirely now, leaving only the vast interstellar medium stretching in every direction. The silence deepens. Not empty, but full in a different way. Full of distance. Full of time. Full of quiet existence unfolding without interruption. As you drift, a subtle awareness begins to settle in. The space around you is not separate from you. The atoms that make up your form, whatever form you imagine yourself to have here, the same as those drifting in this vast medium. Hydrogen, carbon, traces of heavier elements, all born in stars, all part of the same ongoing story. There is no true boundary. Only perspective. You are not moving through the universe as something apart from it. You are part of it, just as the nebula was, just as the stars are, just as the quiet dust between them. The distinction softens. The observer and the observed begin to feel like 2 expressions of the same presence. Drifting continues. But now, it feels less like travel, and more like being. The infinite silence is no longer something surrounding you. It is something you are within, and, in a quiet way, something you share. Time moves, but it does not press. Space extends, but it does not overwhelm. Everything exists together, gently. The distant stars continue their steady glow. The faint particles of the interstellar medium continue their slow, unnoticed motion. Binary systems dance. Nebulae form and fade. Black holes rest in their quiet gravity. And you, drifting here, part of this same unfolding. There is no separation in the deepest sense. Only different ways of appearing. Let that awareness settle softly. No need to hold it tightly. No need to understand it completely. Just allow it to be present, like a gentle glow. You drift. Timeless. In infinite silence. And the universe, in all its vastness, drifts with you, farther now than before. Farther than distance usually allows the mind to follow. The stars you once passed are no longer patterns, no longer constellations. They are scattered, softened, stretched into faint traces of light. Behind you, everything has become quiet memory. Ahead of you, there is only more. More space. More stillness. More of the same infinite silence, deepening, widening, settling into itself. You drift toward what can be felt as an edge. Not a wall. Not a boundary you could touch. But a horizon, a limit of seeing, a gentle threshold where light has not yet had time to arrive. The edge of the observable universe. It does not announce itself. It does not appear suddenly. It reveals itself slowly, like darkness at the end of twilight. The further you drift, the fewer lights remain. Galaxies grow dimmer, their glow stretched thin across the vast expansion of space. Their light has traveled for billions of years to reach this place. And here, at this quiet horizon, even that ancient light begins to fade. You drift closer. The remaining galaxies are no longer shapes. No longer spirals or clusters. Only faint glows, like distant embers suspended in an endless night. Night. Their colors soften into deep reds, then into something even quieter, beyond color, beyond distinction. Light itself feels tired here. Stretched. Gentle. Letting go. The infinite silence deepens. It is not empty. It is full of stillness. A stillness so complete that it begins to feel like rest. You drift. Slowly. Without effort. Without direction. The idea of movement begins to soften. There is no clear sense of forward or backward. Only presence. Only being here, within this quiet edge. The last lights continue to fade. One by one, they soften. One by one, they release their glow. Until even the faintest traces become difficult to notice. Not gone. Just quiet. Very quiet. And now, there is darkness. Not a heavy darkness. Not something to be afraid of. But a soft, embracing darkness. Like closed eyes. Like the inside of a dream that has not yet begun. You drift within it. Timeless. There is no need to see. There is no need to understand. Everything that could be observed has gently stepped back, leaving only space, and the quiet awareness of existing within it. The edge is not an end. It is a cradle. A place where everything slows. Where everything softens. Where the universe, in its fast and patient way, becomes still enough to feel like rest. You drift. And the drifting itself begins to fade. Not suddenly. Not completely. Just gently. Like a thought that becomes quieter and quieter until it is no longer needed. Your awareness softens. The distinction between you and the space around you dissolves further. There is no longer a sense of being within the universe. Only the sense of being. And even that begins to quiet. The infinite silence becomes deeper. Smoother. More complete. There are no stars now. No galaxies. No motion that can be noticed. Only a soft, endless presence. You rest within it. The way a wave rests when it returns to the ocean. The way a breath rests after it is released. There is nothing to hold on to. Nothing to follow. Nothing to become. Only this. Only this quiet, steady stillness. The cradle of the cosmos holds everything equally. every star that ever burned, every particle that ever drifted, every moment that ever unfolded. All of it rests here, in this same gentle stillness. And you are part of that rest. You drift. You soften. You rest. The last sense of movement fades even more. The last traces of form become light, then lighter, then almost nothing at all. There is no need to remain separate. No need to continue as something defined. The universe does not ask that of you. It simply allows. And so, you allow. You allow the quiet. You allow the stillness. You allow the gentle fading of all edges, all distinctions. The infinite silence becomes like a lullaby without sound. Repetitive. Steady. Unchanging. Safe. You drift. You rest. You drift. You rest. Over and over, without counting, without time. The darkness is soft. The stillness is complete. And within this, a deeper rest begins. A rest beyond thought. Beyond awareness. Beyond even the gentle sense of drifting. Like sinking into a calm, dreamless sleep. No images. No movement. No need for anything to happen. Just a quiet, endless peace. You are held. You are part of this vast, silent cradle. Nothing is lost. Nothing is required. Everything simply is. And now, even the idea of is begins to soften. Fading. Gently. Slowly. Until there is only rest. Only deep, dreamless rest. Within the infinite. Within the silent. Within the calm, unending cradle of the cosmos.